Are you ready for a Ready Player One review?
My name's Wade Watts. My dad picked that name because it sounded like a superhero's alter ego, like Peter Parker or Bruce Banner. But he died when I was a kid, my mom too. And I ended up here, sitting here in my tiny corner of nowhere. There's nowhere left to go. Nowhere. Except the Oasis.
Okay, so I got out of the film just a little over an hour ago. I'm still very tired from it. It has drained me slightly, so I'm going to elaborate on why that might be. Okay, so Ready Player One. It's about, I think it's 2045, the age it's set in. Hang on, I just need some caffeine, 1 sec. How's that going? Wow. All right, so it's set in 2045. Right. It's set in a world where everyone lives in a virtual reality world, and everyone lives in this game called Oasis. Now, apparently the creator of Oasis, he's left 3 keys inside the game, and whoever finds them, I think, if I can remember, I think they get to own the game, or they get something like, I can't really remember, I really can't. But anyway, you pretty much know the concept of it, all right? If that didn't make any sense, then just watch the trailer. You're kind of like, you get an idea what it's about then. But anyway, so from the minute it starts with an 80s track. My first thoughts when it started was like, that's kind of unnecessary, because I know Spielberg's trying to get this nostalgia feeling about it, but I felt that track really didn't fit in because it's set in 2045. Yet this track that's over 50 years old starts the film. I felt that didn't suit it, personally. So you're thrown into this world in 2045 where everyone lives in a virtual world and they live in this game Oasis. And I think this is where I couldn't connect with the film at all. I know we live in a world today where everyone lives on their phones, they live on their computers. And I know this film is probably just like, almost like a massive warning at how things could go if we carry on like the way we are. But not being a gamer myself, I'm not someone who likes to spend all my time on my phone. I'm not someone who likes to play computer games. So when the film starts, I felt I couldn't connect with the characters. I couldn't connect with the world at all. I think in the first 5 minutes I was thinking, okay, this might be a bit of a struggle. Because a lot of the film, probably 80 to 90% of the film, is set inside the Oasis world. Most of the film is CGI. And I do struggle to watch films that are full of CGI. I'm very old school when it comes to filmmaking. I like not many effects. I love great story. I love great characters. But I felt characters and story kind of lacked in this. It felt more like you were just around your mate's house watching him play computer games. And like I say, I'm not a gamer. There was a guy who works at the Odeon who had a day off and he was in there watching it as well. When we came out of the cinema, he said he really liked it. The difference is, he's a gamer. And before we went into the screen, it was like we both said that it's probably gonna be like this massive nostalgia trip. And you know what, it is that. It is a nostalgia trip, it really is. I don't think there's any film from like the 80s or 90s or some of the 70s that doesn't bring up. The Shining pops up, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pop up, He-Man pops up, like Beetlejuice pops up, even Spielberg's Jurassic Park Dinosaur pops up. To look at Atari computer games, to look at King Kong, Batman, the Batmobile's in there. Many Back to the Future references. There's a DeLorean thrown in there, but the cool thing about this DeLorean is, the front of the car, it has the car, you remember like Knight Rider, remember Kit the car had that like red stripe at the front that went like that? It has this on the DeLorean, which I thought was a pretty neat little ad. There's also another Back to the Future reference in there. They have the Zemeckis cube, which is a reference to Back to the Future director Robert Zemeckis. Other little things I thought were amusing. I felt the lead character, the guy who's playing Wade, I felt he looked like a younger version of Steven Spielberg, which is funny. If you look, he looks like a young Steven Spielberg. He really does. And also I noticed there was a couple of, during the music, a couple of Back to the Future themes popped up. Only for a matter of seconds. Now I thought John Williams might have composed this film, as he always usually does Spielberg's films. But I got home and it turns out the composer of this film, this Ready Player One film, is in fact Alan Silvestri, the composer of the Back to the Future trilogy. So that was quite cool. Like I said, there's reference to so many films in there, like Terminator, Aliens, Star Trek, Star Wars. So I think if you're looking for some kind of nostalgia trip, you'll get it, but it's a long nostalgia trip. It's a very long journey, this one, especially if you're not into games. If you're looking for a nostalgia trip and you're into playing games on your computer, you will love this film. I reckon you really like it. Like I say, that's just not me. and it's made me really tired. I was literally twisting and turning. I just couldn't get comfortable the whole way through it. It's terrible. I'm not saying it's a terrible film, but I think if Spielberg was trying to make this like a massive 80s, like 70s, 80s, 90s nostalgia film, he should have shaved about 30, 40 minutes off it, to be honest. Then it would have felt like an 80s, 90s film. They were quite short back then. Overall, I think he is trying to get a couple of messages across. I think he's trying to get the message across, like, you know, like 80s movies and 90s movies. They're all like, you know, it was a great period back then. It was a really fun period. But I think he's also trying to get across that because now we live in an age where everyone's living on their phones and living on computer games. His message is reality is better because it's real. And I wholeheartedly agree with that one. And I think that's also why I couldn't connect with this film, because there wasn't enough reality in it. It was mostly CGI and it felt like a game. I felt like how I would if I was playing a computer game for 2 hours. It just drained me completely. I feel like now I just want to go and take a nap. I really do. And I might just do that. Just wake up, Sean, wake up.
Like many of you, I only came here to escape. But I found something much bigger than just myself. Are you willing to fight?
Help us save the oasis.